I'd like to introduce you to the main characters by reading the first chapter. Mickey McHale rolled over and tried to grab the pillow to shield her eyes from the vicious sun stabbing through the wooden slats of the shutters. Through the cocktail-flued throb of her head, she felt some confusion. The drapes in her stateroom on Looks of the Sea should have been closed. The pillow didn't budge. It was held fast beneath the dark head of curly pomade-greased hair that now shifted to turn and grin at her. "Hey, gorgeous. Welcome to morning." She tried to hide her surprise as she looked and took a view of a bedroom in what looked to be a tropical bungalow. "What time is it?" "Almost 9, he said. "Oh, shit!" Her cruise ship was to have departed from Key West at midnight. Worse, her company's award banquet for top account managers was scheduled in the Prime Specialty Steakhouse for 8 o'clock last night. She just stopped into Sloppy Joe's after her afternoon tour of Hemingway's house because she wanted to have a drink in the iconic author's favorite local pub. "My flight back to Cleveland leaves Miami at 11. How the hell can I get to the airport?" "Sorry, darling. There is no way in hell," said the owner of the handsome face. "It takes over 3 hours to drive to MIA. I don't have a car." He reached his arms toward her, but she was already on the other side of the bed, wrestling olive leggings over her long legs and slim hips. Diving into a jungle print tunic, she grabbed her jute bag and fled. In the back seat of the Uber, Mickey's lush black hair fell across her face, blocking her iPhone screen view, which was also impeded by what felt like a chunk of yesterday's mascara in her right eye. Her thumbs were flying wildly as she searched for an alternative flight home when the cell buzzed with a call from her boss. She thought about letting it go to voicemail, but answered. "Where the hell are you?" said Jack Benson. "And where were you last night? Some people thought you'd fallen overboard and wanted to alert the captain to call out the Coast Guard, but we were tied up at the ceremony. And I figured you just screwed up again. So I told them you were in your cabin with the norovirus. But now we're boarding the bus for the airport and I need some answers." "I'm on my way, Jack, but I'll have to catch a different flight. It took a while to find a ride." "Great. Just great. I covered for you last night, but Mr. Cordero is concerned that our top dog honoree is missing and the shuttle driver won't leave without a full head count." "I won? First? Wow, that's fantastic. Can't you tell them I'm in the infirmary getting checked out and they won't let me leave the ship until I start puking?" Jack sighed. "That should work. And yes, you won. Your numbers are so good that I can't fire you. Yet. But if they slip, I've got a problem. So get your ass into the office Monday. On time. I'll set up an appointment for you with EAP in the morning." Mid-January's afternoon sun in Northeast Ohio wasn't as intense as Miami's, but it warmed Lillian Meadows' kitchen and her guests almost as well as her coffee. Brad pushed his 6'2" frame back from the round oak table and stretched like a contented cat. The cat under the table, dislodged by his foot, was not contented and departed in a blur of calico. The blueberry pancakes and sausage had tasted like the best food he'd ever eaten, and he was finally feeling some peace after quitting smoking a week ago. "That was fabulous, Lil. I feel like a new man," he said. "Now if I could just stop wanting a cigarette to go with this coffee." She responded with a smile. "Just have the coffee. It's fine by itself, and you won't have to go outside on the porch. It's still a bit chilly for that." Her phone rang before he could reply. "Oh my, this is a surprise." She held it up so Brad could see the caller ID before she connected. "Well, hello, Mickey. It's been a while. How's everything?" "I just won my company's top sales award." "And?" Lillian interrupted. "And I missed the presentation, and the cruise ship, and my original flight home. And my boss is making an appointment for me with employee assistance. Says he'll fire me if he gets a chance. I just want to go back to meetings and really get into the 12 steps this time. I'm hoping they'll let me do outpatient treatment. Would you please give me another chance and be my sponsor again? Lillian paused. Well, she said, I'll say yes for now, and we'll see how it goes. Where are you now? Mickey brightened. Waiting to board my flight to Miami. I should land in time to make last call. Do they still meet at your church? Yes, but I don't go to that one now. I can't stay away for evening meetings anymore, Lillian said. But Brad still goes there. You remember Brad. Shaking his blonde crew-cut head vigorously, he mouthed, No! Stretched his arm toward Lillian with his forefingers forming a cross to ward off a vampire. Lillian smiled. Brad will meet you there. He'll be your co-sponsor. I'm 77 now, so I think it's a good idea to have backup these days. Call me after you've gotten your treatment plan worked out, and we'll take it from there. And Mickey? Yes? It's good to hear from you. Welcome home. Brad didn't think it was so great to hear from her. How could you do this to me? He cried in only semi-mock anguish. You're my sponsor, and I thought you were this sweet pancake-making little lady, but you're evil. Methinks the lady doth protest too much, she replied. That woman is a train wreck. She's a bigger drama queen than my ex, and I thought he owned the crown. Who's being the drama queen now? Lillian's blue eyes twinkled. They were interrupted by a knock on the back door. A tall, red-haired woman walked through it laughing. I heard some commotion in here from out on the veranda, she said. What's going on? I'm helping Brad with quitting smoking, Sally, Lillian said with a grin. He needs to get out of himself, so he's going to assist me as a co-sponsor. Mickey's back. Sally raised her eyebrows and nodded to Brad. Oh boy, she'll give you a run for your money. With a dramatic, pained expression, he shrugged and grumbled. I was taught to always say yes when asked to do something in AA, especially if she's doing the asking. He jerked his face in Lillian's direction. Laughing, Sally said, I'll pray for you, Brad. Good, he said. I'm definitely going to need professional help with this. Please light a candle while you're at it. As he got out of his chair, he felt around out of habit, then remembered he didn't have a pack of cigarettes and lighter they were stored in the pocket of his merino wool shirt. Grinning, he said, I could use another candle for the smoking thing. Well, ladies, I have some shopping and errands to get out of the way before the tornado rips through my quiet life. Oh, that's right, it's already pretty tattered from Oscar, move, and nicotine withdrawal. Like John McCain once said of bombing Afghanistan, this will just be making the rubble jump. As Brad made his exit, Lillian laughed and turned to Sally. So, are you here for church biz, program, or just a cup of coffee with a friend? The Reverend Sally Wise moved to the cupboard in the butler's pantry and retrieved a mug, and then grasped the pot and poured. Coffee, thank you. And the program sort of melds with my priestly duties. As your sponsor and spiritual advisor, I'm curious. Why would you let Mickey back into your life? Lillian considered the question while her friend of 15 years settled into a cane chair at the table. Well, I don't know how much help I can be, but she needs all she can get. I knew her mother from recovery meetings when Mickey was just a toddler. Her parents got her into modeling then, to pay for a future college education, she said. So between having a stage mommy who was a sneak drinker when her husband was traveling for business, and a rageaholic pot-smoking daddy who was so emotionally abusive that his wife offed herself with pills before their child's 10th birthday, I'd say Mickey never had a chance of turning out any other way but warped. And alcoholic. Very alcoholic, Sally concurred, and impulsive with terrible judgment. Aren't we all when we come in? True, but she's a standout. Why stick Brad with her? I seldom take back a returnee who went back out while I was sponsoring her. I figure if a woman didn't get the message sufficiently for me to stay sober, perhaps she can better hear it from a different messenger, Lillian explained. Brad needs to get out of himself right now. Sally smiled. And she'll give him plenty to focus on instead. Plus, I'm guessing that you're not really feeling up to that level of challenge. Maybe not, but I really think this matchup could be good for both of them, Lily mused. You know very well that God works miracles, often in mysterious ways. They shared a laugh, and then Sally pressed on. So, how are you, really? And how's the manuscript for Cat Hair coming along? Lillian hesitated as she spoke, groping for honest words. I'm feeling older. Missing George more each day, not less, and it's been 3 years already. I thought this book, My New Life as a Widow, would help me work through it, but it hasn't. Slouching, she put her elbows on the table and rested her chin on clenched hands. In fact, for the first time in my career, writing is hard. I can't find my usual humorous point of view about this particular woman's stage of life. Beyond the title, Cat Hair in the Bidet, there's little to give the reader even a mild snicker. How's your deadline? My editor wants the first 3 chapters next month. I have 2 so far, but I don't like them. You may be too close to the work to judge, Sally suggested. I'd be happy to give it a read if you'd like another perspective. Lillian smiled and straightened her slight figure back up in the chair. That's a great idea. Your insights were really helpful with Hairs in the Sink and Other Signs of Love. And just sharing the work in progress with you removed that sense of isolation I get when I'm deep in a project. A ray of strong afternoon sunlight broke through gray winter clouds and streamed in the window, illuminating newly etched creases added to the crow's feet and laugh lines that had characterized Lillian's face ever since Sally had known her. She also saw the fatigue in her friend's eyes and reached across the table to touch her hand. You know, though, you can't use humor to mask this. It can have its place, but you'll also have to allow yourself to feel the pain and to communicate that vulnerability with your readers, many of whom may be coping with the same thing. If you're willing to do this, I think it'll be your best work yet, and it can help a lot of women. Really? Yes. And you won't have to do it alone. I'll be with you, and so will God.